Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna type in, just do this from the beginning, type in IM, you should get your external references. Boom. However, I'm clicking that down arrow, I'm gonna go to my images, and I'm gonna go to this that I brought in. So I have my specify on screen and specify on screen both are selected. I'm not gonna worry about scaling it right now. I'm just gonna eyeball this and we'll scale it after we draw our contours. I'm gonna click this and just fade this a little bit. In the image. I'm gonna stay on layer 0 for this to make it easy. Boom. And I'm ready to go. So I'm gonna use, you can use different ways of tracing this. You can use polyline PL. If you do that, you can click. If you're starting on an arc, you can hit A for arc, D for direction, and kind of start going. And so you can do it like this. Another way to draw this, and we need polylines ultimately because we want to set elevation. Another way of doing this is using the spline tool. And a lot of students are preferring this, so I'll demonstrate this. So you use the spline and you can just click. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna trace a smaller one because I've already done this. I don't want to trace a larger one. It does take still a little bit of time, but not too much time. So I'm gonna type in spline. I'm gonna go here. And kind of click around. Just demonstrate how this works. About the speed of it. It's pretty fast. And I'm gonna do close. You can click this or type in CL. Type in CL. And close that line out. And once you have all those drawn, you want to flatten them. So I'll draw one more just to demonstrate. So I'll do spline just so that you can do multiple selections. So again, clicking here, and just coming around. Okay. Again, CL for closing. And then what I want to do is just grab those and then type in flatten. And it should convert those and then no, in objects. It'll convert those into polygons. So now once you have that and you have all these things drawn, you'll have something that looks kind of like this. What I've done too, once you have these things traced out, you no longer need the image, you can just delete it. And you'll have something that looks like this. What I've done too is I've changed the line type to a -2. And I've changed the line type scale to 10. So we have this, it just looks like contours. Once you have this, so have you all go to your layout and have 11 fine. I just want to know that you know how to do this. Kind of screw this away. I'm going to type in paper space, line type scale, and make it 0. And refresh, and it shows what's in the screen. Double click here. And just eyeball it. Don't set just any zoom to kind of fill the screen. PS. Still use your, if you have land effects, don't worry about that. This is fine. And just control P this. And then DWG to PDF. And it'll be kind of your first submittal desktop. And just first image. Pretty easy. The next thing that we want to do is we want to make this into a contour model. So what I'm going to do is we need to scale this thing first, though, appropriately. So I'm going to type in C in here and D for diameter. I'm going to make it 30. And this is going to be representation of the tree. This is a pretty small landform if this is a tree. So I'm just going to kind of pull this out a little bit. And I'm just going to scale this. So I'm going to type in SC, enter, select all this, enter. Put somewhere in the center and then start dragging out. And just make it a better landform on it. That looks good. That's a small tree, and that's decent landform. You see the scale change as I scaled this thing. Now that it doesn't read the same, so I want to just go through and select this now for my line type. I think I had this set to like 100 before. And yeah. Also, I have my line type generation enabled. Make sure it's enabled, and it just keeps the dashes equidistant, regardless of where the grid points occur. All right, so cool. So now we're ready to save this thing and almost to SketchUp. But before we do that, we want to set elevations. So I'm going to set some elevations here now. And I'm going to make this thing, I'm going to make this 100. And make this 200. 300. 400. And go. I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna make this. That's 100. I'm gonna make this. Zero. So now I'm going to just save this. I have mine saved as 170. Save it to something so you can find it. And we're gonna go to SketchUp. So I'm going to SketchUp now. You can pick simple. It's fine. We're going to modify it a little bit. So I am going to I'm gonna go to my styles and just edit, and then I'm gonna make this profiles off. Also, I'm gonna go to my shadows, and I'm gonna turn on use some of the shading, and I like it like that. So then I'm gonna say file, and I'm gonna say save as template. I'm gonna call this basic one. And just save, so it'll default to that next time. Now what I want to do is file, and I want to import AutoCAD file. I'm going to go to that topo model example. Options, make sure it's feet. Don't worry about preserving drawing origin for this exercise. Just say okay. And I'm going to say import. Boom. There goes my lines. So now I'm going to click in here. I'm going to say explode. Just so we can see this contour. So I'm going to my tags. I'm going to create a tag. I'm going to call this contours because that's what they are. And I'm going to say default dashes. I'm going to make this a dash dash style. So I'm just going to grab those and just put these on the contour layer, just so you can kind of read them as dashes. Yeah, it looks more like contours for me. Now I'm still on tags. That's good. So I'm going to grab here and I'm going to go to draw sandbox from contours. And it should generate a terrain mesh for you to express your terrain. There's some cleanup on mine. So if you really wanted to get, technical about things, you can double click in here and go view hidden geometries. And I'm actually going to erase some of these things that shouldn't be in here. You can kind of zoom in and go to the triangles. And just get it. And then it's better. There you go. Oops. Control Z back as far. Go. Boom. That's more like the geometry that I meant. wanted it to be. Now I will go back and just that. So I don't want to see that anymore. Cool. So now I have this landform that we have. Okay, so what you can do. My shadows are on, so I can actually not on. So I can actually drop shadow as well on the ground. Kind of help you see what we've created as well. Well, yours will look different than mine, but what's cool about this too is you can change the time of the day to shift this thing to show shadows cast. You can drop in components or build. Maybe we'll just build a quick building in here so I can convey this. So I'm just gonna go back to top view. Um, uh, Windows, on shortcut top view. Where is this at for you? Hold on. Your views here are here. So you can go to your top view. I have these things shortcutted, so it's helpful. I also want to go to my camera and turn off the perspective, so it's parallel projection. I'm just going to draw a couple of squares to demonstrate this quickly. So put this in, I'm going to make this a group and just pop it up. P is a shortcut for push pull. So just do that. Go back to top view again. And I'm just going to copy a couple of these. Just hold by holding control. Those couple variation. And then I'm just going to kind of actually paint these things. Just kind of move them over into my landform. And then selecting it and for move and just kind of moving some of these things around a little bit. Poking out where they might be. Just the flatter areas. I'm clicking on this and hitting the up arrow to lock my axis so I can just kind of push and pull them up and down. And it's the same thing for this guy. This thing is, it's going towards the abyss. Oh no. So let's just kind of shift it up. Okay. So now you can kind of see how these things relating to these really odd building. I can't stand it. Put it back. So big too. This is just like a lookout. That's why it's okay. All right, so you have these kind of landforms there, so you can have, again, be able to see this. You can also cut a section. So you have this as your second submittal. And what you can do is just kind of take a picture. I'm gonna go back to a perspective so it looks better. And you can kind of take a picture of this. Also, again, you can play with your shadows to get something that looks interesting. Interesting, some big one. April. There you go. Kind of interesting shadow patterns. Yeah, so that's the first part. So then you'll take a photo. You'll just say File, Export, 2D Graphic, and just of the JPEG and kick that one out. And the next thing we're gonna do is just also do a section. So to do a section, I'm gonna use my I'm gonna view toolbars and I would say section, hopefully. Yeah, section. And it'll pop up. And what I'm gonna do is use this first little section plane tool. And I'm gonna cut my section through and use this building as a reference. I'm gonna click that and you see it creates a section cut. So I'm gonna say, you can name these things. I'm gonna say it's fine. Okay, default name, and it will express that section for me, which is really cool to be able to do a quick section cut. Now, I can also kick that out, this section cut, once I have it selected. I can say align view. There are plugins or extensions, they call them now, that also with my camera and parallel projection, so it's a dead-on view. Still right-click, align view. That will cut out the background for you. We can kick this line out though into CAD by clicking on it and saying create a group from slice. I'm gonna hit M for the move tool, click and then hit up, and just drag this up a little bit so you can see what it has done when we've done that. So in this end, I'm gonna also turn off the section, and then go to my styles and click here and turn off the sky, fill the sky, and change these colors to white so it makes it easier to see. And you see it's created this nice section cut for us. So the practice of base, it's the same, it's doing the same thing that we were doing by hand manually, or even in CAD drawing the lines. It's just creating an instant section for us so we can begin to understand what's going on spatially through section. And again, you can also save this then as, if you wanted to, export this as a 2D graphic, and you can kick it out to actually AutoCAD, so it becomes a CAD line. So it's a quick way of just generating kind of sections and a way to help understand the site. So the next thing you want to have then is this image, and keep your section plane off, make everything sure it's white and clean, so like we can see it just really clearly. And I'm going to just do the file export 2D graphic JPEG, and this one would be the section basically. And those would be the two things that you upload to Blackboard in addition to your CAD kind of PDF export. Any questions? Let me know.